Buttercup. Welcome back to my channel. Today's book review is Elektra by Jennifer Saint. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars, and we're going to go into specifically why. But just an overview, I think a lot of you know about the Trojan War and all that background, right? This is about the Trojan War. It's a retelling of the women's side of that at home with Elektra and her mom, and then with Cassandra in Troy. So there's 3 points of views. Elektra, of course. Cassandra, who is one of the sisters of the king and queen and of Hector. And then the mom of Elektra, and I'm going to get her name wrong. I'm going to say it once. I wrote it down too. Hold on. No. I'm going to leave that in there. Clytemnestra? Clytemnestra? It's her mom. It's Elektra's mom. I tried. It's Clytemnestra. I can get Temnestra, but Clytemnestra. Okay, I'm moving on. Elektra's mom. Okay. It's first person point of view for all 3 of them. So I really enjoyed it. The thing that was holding me back for giving it 5 stars was in the middle, it drags a bit, and it's not even a very long book. About 300 pages of the copy that I got from the library. So the original cover was, I'm assuming, Elektra, because it's one person, like this cover, which is nice, but also they didn't make her look attractive whatsoever. I'm not saying that that's like the whole point of the story and all that stuff, but they kind of like messed up her face. Even though that is the style of really old Greek art. I'm personally not a fan of it. Then I got the cover, the newest cover that has all 3 of them, which that makes sense because there's 3 points of view, but then why is it Elektra as the title? I'm pretty sure that her mom got more points of view than Elektra. Even if it was just like 2 more extra than Elektra. I think that's interesting, and I connect way more with her mom and Cassandra compared to Elektra. Now, why? Because I don't think it was believable that she was so utterly obsessed and in love with her dad, because the only interaction between Elektra and her dad is when he tells her before leaving for war to think of him, and then he gifts her a dagger. And then after that, so she loves him, as a, dad, yes, totally makes sense. But after that situation, she's like absolutely obsessed, just like at a certain point, creepily obsessed with him. And continues on, and if you don't know the story, don't continue forward, but she kills her own mother for him in revenge. I don't think that works. You could have definitely built up more of a relationship between him and Elektra, and then it would have made sense. And maybe like the mom did not care a lot for Elektra and preferred her other daughters or something like that. Like, you need something. It can't just be, think of me as I'm gone to Troy and here's a dagger, and then he just leaves, and then all she thinks about, all she talks about, all she whines about, and every single chapter of Elektra's point of view is her dad. And I'm just like, oh my god, I want to stab you and him, but I really like, sweetie, stop. Like, he doesn't give that much of a shit about you, because he barely paid attention to you until he gave you the dagger and said, think of me. Not, I'm gonna miss you, but think of me. Think of me while I'm gone. Also, the whole thing of she can't relate at all to her mom, who is mourning and extremely angry because Agamemnon like a human sacrificed their eldest daughter. And so when her mom comes back from that, and like the Greeks are already at sail and all that stuff, she comes back and she tells Elektra, I'm angry and depressed and just off the wall, going slightly insane because he sacrificed your sister for wind. And Elektra's like, oh, makes sense. He's fantastic. He knows everything. So obviously my sister didn't matter, other than the fact like she was born to be sacrificed. And I'm like, oh my god. I mean, I can believe it, but you needed to build up to that obsessive devotion in love. He can do no wrong. And the problem was that was not written whatsoever. Now, is that written down in the Greek mythology? No, they didn't really go in depth with character development, though, for most of, if not all, of the myths and legends that they wrote down. And that's true for also the men as well, but they did a little better with the men. No, it's really, I read the Odyssey and the Iliad, and there are like some random points where you get into character development and all that stuff, but it's really just it happens like this, and maybe they give a reason. Not usually, though. But this is a retelling. This is a novel in the 21st century, so I need a little bit more. Just a little bit more to understand what's going on. Now, I thought it was really interesting about Cassandra. Did she need to be there? I don't know. She was interesting, though. And when she is taken by Agamemnon as a sex slave, and then back home, and she meets the wife, the mom, Clytemnestra. Her. They don't speak the same language or anything like that, but she is begging the mom to kill her, and she does. And I think that is during this time period, and during this particular situation, basically one of the best options for Cassandra. And that's depressing as hell to say, but you're gonna be a sex slave for the rest of your life. You're in slavery. You're not going anywhere. You have to do every single thing that Agamemnon asks you to do. And he's not asking you, he's telling you what to do. You don't have your own mind anymore. And Troy is burned to the ground. Most of her family's dead. And the women that they were separated into, like, they gathered all the women that were left and the children, and then they just separated them throughout Greece into slavery and into sex slavery. So she's never going to see her family, like the 5 women and children that survived. So what does she have to live for? Yeah, way, way, way more sympathetic to the mother. And even though that hurt her to kill someone, it was understandable. And she was like, if I was in her situation, I would beg someone to kill me too. A quick death. It wasn't slow or anything like that. It was a very quick death. It was a fairly painless death. And I was very sad to see that happen, but I get it. And I think that was a very interesting tie-in. There are multiple ways that the myth is written. One of them is like they all die, and then another one is they are enslaved, and then the other one is some of them escape, and some of them are killed, and some of them are enslaved. And so it's like it's different endings. So you really Jennifer decided to choose where the women were all enslaved. She have gone another way? Sure, of course. I mean, all the myths go different ways depending on which author you're reading the tale, but it does show up more that they are either killed or enslaved, and not so much. I think there's one or two renditions that they escape, and then like I don't even know what happens to them after that, but it's usually like killed, enslaved. And I think with Cassandra, because we are trying to bring back agency, as much agency as one could as a woman during ancient Greek times, which not that much. But for Cassandra, that agency was to ask the wife who she knew did not love Agamemnon. And so Cassandra knew that she would grant that request. And so that's the personal agency of, you know what, I'm not going to live decades serving Agamemnon. That's revolting, it's disgusting. I'd rather die. And his wife is going to help me. I think that is very strong. Depressing, yes, of course, depressing, but that's a very strong statement. But it's kind of a smart move because she observed the wife just very carefully, and she could see that wife wanted to kill him, and she did. So Cassandra didn't know that. And also the whole thing of, you know, just because Agamemnon is killed doesn't mean that everything is all hunky-dory, because she's still a slave. So that was, yes, it was a difficult decision. And it was really sad. I cried for that section, but I understood. And I cried and I was pissed when Elektra watched her mom be killed by her older brother. But I think it's great because the Furies drove, or still driving him, whatever, insane, because killing your mom or dad or both will bring in the Furies, and then they torture you for the rest of your life. I wish that happened with Elektra, but, you know, she was like, oh, my brother has to do it. I'll just wait over here, and I'll watch you do it. And then she lives a fucking happily ever after. I don't like that bitch. Sorry. Yes, I did. I called her a bitch. I don't like her. So, 4 out of 5 stars. And I thought it was really interesting because I can totally see why Freud would make her the female version of the female representation of falling in love with your dad and like trying to replace him with your mom or whatever. Stupid. It's not based in any fact. That Freud theory is debunked and has been debunked for a very long time. But she is written out where it's just like, girl, you need to chill. Please. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing your mom. You're embarrassing your whole family. Chill out with your obsession with Agamemnon. It's like you need to talk to someone, even though this is ancient Greece and there's no such thing as therapy. Even just, I don't know, just find a friend. Find someone, because you're really creepy. Oh. You're creepy, you don't make sense, your obsession is unwarranted, because he doesn't really care about you. But, okay, whatever. And that ending with basically Elektra living, which is that I think there is another rendition where she doesn't live at the end, and I wonder why Jennifer Saint wrote instead to keep her alive on a random island with a husband and a bunch of kids, and she's happy, but she's still obsessed with her dad, and she's like looking out to sea, and she's whatever, pondering. I kind of wanted to see it end where they all died, just because I don't think she deserved to have a happily ever after. Cassandra didn't, and that's messed up. She deserved none of that. Especially because she was a priestess of Apollo. No interest at all with war, anything to do, and she tried to stop it because she has the ability to see into the future, but then Apollo cursed her with it, and the flip side is that no one believes her. Felt for her. She didn't deserve that either. Cassandra didn't deserve that. The mom did not deserve any of that, and that's not the husband that she chose, because he was way different than what happened there. And then Elektra, like, what are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. You egging on your brother to kill, like, your mom, and just thinking that your older sister deserved to be sacrificed because Agamemnon knows all and he can do no wrong, and she was like whatever anyway, it doesn't matter about her, she's nothing to me. Like, what? She's your sister. Like, I don't know. I just I didn't like Elektra, if you didn't know. And I don't have to like you or love you as a character. You can be interesting and complex, and I still enjoy the book. I'll give it, 5 stars, whatever that, or 4 stars, like what I did. Like, for example, Daisy Jones and the Six, I didn't like any of those characters, but they were interesting, and the story was really good, so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. If Elektra at least had character development and a stronger bond and a way stronger reason to be so obsessed and so in love with her dad, it would have probably been 4.5 out of 5 stars, and it would have been fine with the middle drag, and then I would have upped it to 5 stars. But girl, no, I can't do it with you. So that's where we are. But I do recommend this book if you want a retelling that gives the women at least a little bit more agency in their futures and their present circumstance. And the writing was very pretty as well, not in a flowery language way, which I do not like, and not in a purple prose way, but just beautiful. I really enjoyed the writing as well. Thank you for watching my review and little rant on Elektra by Jennifer Saint. I'll see you in the next book review video. Ta-ta for now.